Imagine waking up in ancient Rome. You think you're about to see gladiators and giant temples. But within your first hour, you discover Romans used urine to wash clothes, shared toilets with strangers, and ate tiny roasted mice. And somehow, that's not even the weirdest part, because ancient Rome was basically one giant civilization of, wait, they actually did that? First, you would probably get hungry. So you walk into a Roman food shop, and surprisingly, this part would feel pretty normal. Ancient Romans had street food shops where people could buy hot food and drinks. Basically, ancient Rome had fast food, except there was no drive-through, and absolutely no Uber Eats. You point at some food. The seller gives you a strange-looking sauce, and says, garum. Garum was one of the most popular Roman sauces. And here comes the weird part. It was made from fermented fish. Yes, fermented fish. You just wanted dinner, and somehow ended up eating ancient liquid fish. And Romans could get really adventurous with food. Wealthy Romans were known to eat exotic dishes including flamingo and dormice. Imagine ordering dinner, and the waiter says, would you like chicken, fish, or a tiny mouse? And you're just standing there thinking, I'll have the bread. Thank you. Speaking of bread, bread was extremely important in Rome. But forget modern grocery stores. Some Romans bought food from street vendors and small shops. So walking through Rome could feel less like visiting a museum, and more like walking through an ancient food court. Except the food court had horses, screaming merchants, and probably a smell you don't want to investigate. And speaking of smells, here comes one of the strangest facts. Romans actually collected urine. Yes, urine. It was collected from public containers, then used by fullers, workers who cleaned and processed clothes. Why? Because urine contains ammonia, and ammonia can help clean fabrics. So imagine you're walking through Rome. You see a container, and someone tells you, don't waste that. We're using it for laundry. And it gets even crazier. Emperor Vespasian taxed the trade in urine. So Rome basically looked at pee and said, you know what? That's taxable. Now let's talk about bathrooms. You might imagine every Roman had a private toilet. Not exactly. Public latrines existed, and some were basically communal. Imagine sitting down and realizing your personal bathroom time has become a group activity. No phone, no privacy, and definitely no air freshener. And then you notice something even stranger. People didn't have modern toilet paper. So yes, your bathroom experience in ancient Rome was very different. And before you start thinking, okay, at least I'll get a nice relaxing bath. Well, yes, Roman baths were famous, but they weren't exactly like a modern luxury spa. Public baths were social places where people gathered, talked, relaxed, and cleaned themselves. But your relaxing Roman bath could basically be ancient public swimming pool, plus everybody else's grossness. But Rome gets even more ridiculous, because Romans loved entertainment. And we are not talking about Netflix. We are talking about live shows. The Colosseum could hold tens of thousands of spectators, and people came to watch spectacular events, including gladiatorial combat. Now imagine walking through Rome at night. You see walls covered with writing, and you might think, wow, the Romans had beautiful calligraphy. Nope. Some of it was graffiti. People wrote messages, insults, advertisements, and random comments on walls. Basically, ancient Romans had graffiti. They were just doing it with stone walls instead of Instagram comments. And here's something else you might not expect. You'd probably see people eating out, because Rome had plenty of street-side places selling food and drinks. So your first day could go something like this. Wake up. Get confused by fermented fish sauce. See someone collecting urine. Visit a communal bathroom. Walk past graffiti. Eat something called dormice. Then watch gladiators. And it's only 6 p.m. But there is one thing that would finally destroy you. No internet. You can't Google anything. You can't text your friend. You can't order pizza. You can't search how to survive ancient Rome. You are completely on your own. And if you tried to explain TikTok to a Roman, they'd probably think you've been cursed by Mercury. So would you survive ancient Rome? Maybe. But after 3 days, you wouldn't be asking for a smartphone. You'd be begging for toilet paper, air conditioning, and a normal cheeseburger. Because ancient Rome wasn't just marble statues, emperors, and gladiators. It was also fermented fish sauce, urine taxes, communal toilets, crazy food, ancient graffiti, and some of the strangest everyday habits in history. And that's the weirdest part. These weren't fictional people. These were real people, walking these streets, eating this food, using these bathrooms, and complaining about their neighbors, just like people do today. So, would you survive 1 week in ancient Rome? Or would you escape the moment someone handed you?
Guys, please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more interesting videos.